Welcome to the Passionate Roaditor, TPR, where we stay on the road to keep you safe on the road. On the 7th of December 2025, a Kinatwa SACCO matatu had a head-on collision with a trailer at Miasenyi along the Nairobi-Mombasa Highway. I begin this episode of TPR, the first in 2026, with that bit of background, because on the second day of the year, as I was working on this story, I had this as part of my script. According to media reports, the Kinatwa SACCO matatu was overtaking. The very same day of the accident, the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA, deployed a team of road safety auditors and inspectors to the scene to conduct a detailed analysis. NTSA went as far as issuing a statement on the deadly accident. This was a great start. From then on, there was no word from NTSA on the findings of the comprehensive investigations. NTSA's silence in a case like this one is what creates room for a similar incident to happen again, as there is no punishment for reckless driving. On Saturday morning, on the 3rd of January 2026, news of another accident filtered in. An accident had taken place at Konza on the Nairobi-Mombasa Highway, involving a Naekana Route 139 SACCO matatu and a Tahmeed bus late Friday night. Like the accident that took place almost a month before on the same highway, 8 lives were lost. TPR encountered this headline on the Daily Nation on the 2nd of January 2026. Surveillance by the police on digital platforms may have a good intent, but it's easy to see how it can be misused by a rogue and corrupt regime. For road safety, however, surveillance of online content on roads by NTSA is a tool that can be used to reduce the number of deaths on Kenyan roads and to greatly enhance road safety. Social media is increasingly having content on accidents or reckless driving being captured on camera. In 2023, 4,324 people died from accidents on Kenyan roads. In 2024, that number spiked to 4,748. In 2025, the National Council on the Administration of Justice released a statement indicating that as at December 15, 2025, the number of deaths associated with traffic accidents stood at 4,682 compared to 4,479 at a similar period in 2024. Now let's track back to 10th September 2025 when Katua posted this video on Facebook. You can see here that a trailer is approaching. But watch what this Kinatwa SACCO matatu driver does. Let's watch again as the driver of this matatu, registration number KDE 309R, attempts to force an overtake. But for Katua's graceful action to drive onto the shoulder on the left side in order to give the Kinatwa matatu room to avoid an accident, this here was bound to be a head-on collision. This variant of the Toyota Matatu, a 9L, has a configuration that seats 18 passengers. It is similar to the Matatu from the same SACCO that had a head-on collision with a trailer at Miasenyi on 7th December 2025. Reckless driving, similar to this near accident in September, caused the fatal accident at Miasenyi about 3 months later. 8 people lost their lives in that crash at Miasenyi. NTSA released this statement on 7th December 2025. A section of it reads, "We have immediately deployed a team of road safety auditors and inspectors to the scene to conduct a detailed analysis. Kinatwa SACCO is fully cooperating with the authority and all relevant agencies as comprehensive investigations into the cause of the crash continue." Since December 7th to date, NTSA has not updated the public on the result of the comprehensive investigations. Neither has it publicly stated any sanctions on Kinatwa SACCO for the loss of lives through dangerous driving. This flies in the face of the last sentence of the press release that states, "We remain steadfast in our commitment to the highest standards of road safety, especially during this festive season." 26 days later, and
death toll from last night's road accident along the Nairobi-Mombasa Highway has now risen to 8. That crash involved a Naekana matatu headed to Mombasa and a Tahmeed bus traveling from Mombasa. 5 people died instantly, while others succumbed to injuries while receiving treatment in hospital. They have been admitted at the Machakos Level 5 hospital, but some blamed reckless driving by the matatu driver.
like the Kinatwa SACCO matatu driver, who was said to be overtaking when the accident happened, the driver of the Naekana SACCO matatu was also overtaking. Like the Kinatwa accident, 8 lives were lost in the Naekana accident. And once again, just like for the Kinatwa accident, NTSA released a statement. Part of it says, and I quote, "The incident involved a bus operated by Tahmeed Express Limited and a matatu operated by Naekana Route 139 SACCO. Preliminary reports indicate that the matatu driver attempted to overtake another vehicle, leading to a head-on collision."
Dereva wetu naona ndio alifanya makosa, ndio alikuwa ameovertake. Hiyo gari ilikolide head to head.
When NTSA fails to rein in reckless driving when it is clearly evident, it is bound to happen again sooner rather than later. And just like that, 8 people who celebrated the new year have had their lives abruptly cut short. Not because of a mechanical problem with the vehicle or bad weather, but because of a driver who believed he could drive recklessly and get away with it. A driver who believed that NTSA wouldn't punish him for such kind of driving because of a precedent of doing the same before and seeing colleagues and other matatu drivers do the same, all without punishment. So we can now draw a line that this kind of behavior led to this. And when that behavior was not punished by NTSA, it led to this. When the Naekana matatu got the accident, NTSA released this statement. Here now is feedback from some members of the public concerning NTSA's press release. Stephen Karanja says, "I'm wondering, as much as it's important to disseminate the information, but what measures are you putting in place to stop the same accidents happening repeatedly?" Jonah Rajabsons Wanjala says, "Let's go back to basics. Do the basics. Just for example, most of the Kenyan highways are not properly marked. They are painted with chalk dust. Bumps show up without announcing their presence. And many basics are just neglected. As Kenyans, we have a duty to be responsible while using our highways. NTSA also needs to be proactive. That way, we can make our highways safe." Rob Gilly says, "What measures have you put in place to stop the menace? Your work is not to give statistics on accidents. You are supposed to ensure road safety. Actual safety to travelers. Actual safety standards. Being proactive, not reactive. Kindly provide seamless road safety action plan and policy. There is a time when Kenya had a bold leader who took action to foster road safety. Sadly, those days are long gone. NTSA's continuous treatment of reckless driving with kid gloves will aid in the increase of the number of road fatalities on Kenyan roads. Not so much because of human error, but because of bad behavior and reckless driving which habitually goes unpunished. Until then, the song will continue to be NTSA urging motorists to drive safely and more accidents happening purely due to reckless driving. As we begin a new year, will NTSA take the bold step of setting up a team to monitor reckless driving posted on social media and mete out the appropriate punishments to curb dangerous driving?